It's Monday, September 1st, 2025, and this is episode 342 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, things going well for you?
Yep, going pretty well. School is starting on Tuesday, this day after this is released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to be busy.
Yep.
There's been a lot of changes in the school, new principal, new secretary, things like that. So it's going to be a little hectic to start, but I'm all ready.
Good. And what are you going to be teaching this year?
Math.
Uh-huh.
Algebra 2, to be specific.
Okay.
And then I am the school's universal sub.
Ah, okay. Universal sub. Anytime they need somebody, you'll go in. No matter what the subject is, you're ready.
Correct. Well, I have to be there every day, like a full-time employee. And I sit in my room, and if first, second, fifth, sixth, or seventh period needs a sub, I'm their man. I could be teaching PE, music, art, home ec.
It's like you said on a previous podcast, you're retired now, so you don't have any free time.
Yeah, I don't have any free time at all, Mark. And I'm driving a couple of kids who live way out on a farm to school in the morning and home after school.
Yeah, you are busy.
Yeah. Leave the house at about 6:30 every morning, get home about 4, and then head to whatever athletic event I'm running the scoreboard for.
Okay. Welcome back to the real world.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I'm not going to be able to make Blackhawk.
What?
Yes.
Oh, come on. You said you were going.
I know, and I really want to go. But the new principal, it's homecoming that weekend, and he said, we got so much going on, and I really can't afford for you to leave, and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, jeez.
And it's my wife's birthday on Monday.
Oh, yeah, so, right, on that Monday.
We're going to kind of celebrate that weekend before. And I really wanted to go to Blackhawk because I enjoy that place more than most.
Are there any you haven't been to a meetup in a while then. Are there any meetups that you're going to be able to make? Because you keep saying, you can't do this, can't do that.
I know. Well, I'm trying very, very hard to go to Zorkfest in December.
Oh, good. That would be great.
So that gives me September, October, November. Yeah, I'm going to shoot for that. I'm putting in my request this week for the time off.
Okay, great. How do you like my reaction here on the show? Did it sound like I was hearing all this for the first time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It sure did. That's the problem with being retired, Mark. It's so much easier when I was working and in charge of my life.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to the show. We got an interesting email from listener Jay. He wanted to know at what point during a roll do the all small tall bets become positive EV for the player? In other words, you're rolling all these numbers. At what point does the player actually have an edge on the wager?
Right.
And so I thought that is pretty interesting. So I got out my slide rule.
Let me just answer real quick, Mark.
All right.
You never have an edge. Even if you hit it, it's not positive EV. For me, anyway, because it all goes back.
All right, that's fair. And this is more of a curiosity than anything. I'm going to answer these questions here, but it's not like you could take advantage of knowing when, it turns to your favor, right? Because the bet's already been made. But anyway, here's what I came up with. So first, let's talk about the small. Remember, there are two different kinds of payouts depending on the casino that you're at. The small and the tall will either pay 34-1, and it's usually listed as 35-4-1 on the layout, but 34-1, or 30-1. And I think most casinos are that lower payout now, the 30-1.
Right.
But if you're playing at a 34-1 table, rolling any number right off the bat, your first roll, even if it's a 6, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rolling any number will now make the bet positive EV. Now, if it is a 6, it's just barely positive.
Right.
But any number will do. If the payout is 30-1, rolling the 2, 3, 4, or 5 right away is like your first number will make it positive EV. Rolling just the 6 right out the bat, that won't do it. You'd need a second number to go along with it. But if you just roll the 2, 3, 4, or 5 to start, then it's positive EV. And the same for the tall, right? If it's 34 to 1, rolling any number, including the 8, will make it positive EV. And if the payout's 30 to 1, rolling the 9, 10, 11, or 12 will make it positive EV. So there you go. Pretty straightforward.
It's hard to wrap your head around that a little bit because shooter gets the dice, first rolls a 2. Mm-hmm. You're thinking, oh, great, positive EV on the small. And then next roll, 7.
Sure. It is hard to wrap your head around. But the reason it becomes positive EV is because of the payout, because of what you're getting paid. Yes, you're still more likely to lose the bet than win it. Anytime you get into numbers like these and statistics, it can mess with your head, and you start thinking about, positive EV, what do I do now? There's nothing you can do. It's just more of like I said, a curiosity, but I find it interesting.
Yeah, I have the end of the year is statistics, so I've got a lot of fodder to give the kids about figuring out crap statistics.
That's right. Yeah, I went to that statistics class. When I got there, it looked like a casino.
Right.
Just have all these different stations set up. All right, let's talk about Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
Right, there you go.
All right, let's talk about the all now. So again, 2 different payouts. The good payout, 175 to 1. Most casinos are 150 to 1. Let's talk about the good one first. 175 to 1. Rolling any number right off the bat other than the 6 or 8 will make the bet positive EV. It'll be in the player's favor. Now, if that initial roll is a 5 or a 9, it's just barely positive EV, but anything other than a 6 or an 8. If 6 or 8 is your first number, you'll need another number to go along with it before it'll become positive EV.
Okay.
For 150 to 1, this kind of surprised me for 151. It's much worse. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised because 150 to 1 versus 175 to 1 is a much worse payout.
Right.
But in order for the bet to become positive EV with just one number being made so far, it has to be 2, 3, 11, or 12. Rolling any other number right off the bat won't yet make it positive EV.
Positive EV.
And in fact, you could have to throw 4 numbers before it could be positive EV. Let's say it's 5, 6, 8, and 9. All 4 of those would have to roll before it would become positive EV, assuming none of the other numbers are rolled. So I won't go into the extra explanation here, but that's how much worse the 150 to 1 payout is.
Yeah, so I think our terminology should not be the good payout and the bad payout. It should be the bad payout and the slightly better than bad payout.
Yeah. Or the other way, the bad payout and the horrible payout.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right? The bad payout and the horrible payout. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Because neither one of them is a particularly good bet. But
so again, this is more of a mathematical curiosity than anything you could take advantage of. And I want to really thank the Wizard of Odds for his page on this bet because I used his math. He uses calculus to figure this out. It is much more complicated than you think. I mean, you think it'd be complicated, but it's even more complicated than that. So I borrowed some of his formulas. So a big thanks to him.
Good. Boy, we got to get lives, Mark. We're sitting here figuring out. Well, you are sitting here figuring out odds on bets that you never make. So I guess you're a little more pathetic than me.
Yeah. Pathetic might be a good word, but I'm having a blast.
Yeah. All right. They're not mutually exclusive.
That's true. Think of how many people in the world are pathetic and love their lives.
Right. They're not mutually exclusive. And vice versa, right?
And vice versa, yeah. Hey, Mike, Sherry and I watched a movie a couple of weeks ago. It's called Lucky You. Some listeners might be familiar with it. It's a poker-based movie. I had not seen it because I didn't hear really good things about it, but we ended up watching it. And it's actually not a bad movie. It's fine. It's enjoyable. Somebody who is not into poker might find it a nice diversion. Nothing great. But what struck me was the poker action was realistic, very realistic. I was surprised. I was watching the whole time, and sometimes they're playing in casinos and they were changing the games up, and I was watching the action, and it was impressive, I thought.
Okay, good.
The movie was made in 2007. It takes place in 2003, and Eric Bana is the star. His character, Huck, is looking to play in the World Series of Poker. And Robert Duvall, who's always great, plays his dad.
Yeah.
And there's some cameos by some famous poker players. So, or at least famous at the time, 18 years ago. But yeah, I was impressed. I really was. They must have had either the screenwriter really knew what he was doing, or they had a consultant who kept them in line. Even to the point where, I'm watching them thinking, okay, well, the mechanics are right. They've got everything good. The decisions that the players make are probably not going to be necessarily good because they want to, generate drama. It is a movie after all. But there was one scene where I'm thinking, well, okay, he obviously should fold in this situation, but I'm sure he's going to call or raise just because it's a movie. And, there was a fold. So it's like, wow, to a certain degree even, the players are making moves that I think are the correct moves. So, again, ultimately it's a movie and there's some things that would not happen in real life. But for regular moviegoers who maybe aren't gamblers and poker players, like, yeah, you might enjoy it. For poker players, you might enjoy the movie, but I think you'll be impressed with how they got the poker right.
Okay, good. So not knowing poker, if you're just going to watch a movie and you know nothing about poker, you're still following along fine.
Oh, yeah. It's a love story, ultimately.
Oh, okay.
So there's Drew Barrymore plays a love interest. And, so there's more story to that. And
so there's a reason to watch it, Drew Barrymore.
And, maybe if you don't know poker, some of the suspense on how hands are going to turn out might not be there for you. But no, like a lot of good movies, it's made not just for gamblers, but for the general public. And in that respect, I think it's fine. It's okay. It seems like a kind of a half-hearted recommendation on my part, but really I'm only recommending it because as far as movies go, I think it really gets the poker right.
Oh, good. Yeah. As a third career, Mark, we need to open up a studio that produces movies that are aimed at a specific group of people. So in other words, we would make a poker movie, but it would all just be about the poker.
Right. And the average person, the average person would hate it.
Would hate it, but poker people would love it.
Right.
And then we can do it for every genre. We could have it for basketball players or, shut-ins. We can have a video.
Yeah, all right.
Shut-ins, things like that.
Come up with a business plan, Dr. Mike. Send it to me. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, right after we open the casino, we're going to do that. I think there's a need for that.
All right. So anyway, lucky you with Eric Bana. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Now, remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. You can bet on that.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right. That means it's voicemail time. First up is William.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is William from Fort Worth. I haven't called in a while, but I still listen all the time, and I'm still really enjoying your content. It's cracked for years how dismissive Mark is when Dr. Mike... Mark just has no tolerance for sudden expertism, we'll call it, when Dr. Mike is talking about something he just probably doesn't have much knowledge of. So the latest example of that, and forgive me, Dr. Mike, if you do have massive knowledge in this area, but it was when the guy called in about hitting the all tall small, and they had to review it upstairs before they could pay. And so Dr. Mike said, it shouldn't take that long for the camera upstairs. They just rewind it. Oh, there was a 4. There was a 5. And Mark's uber dismissive response, yeah, I don't know. We're not familiar with that. Just trailing off as it drains his life force. This has been happening for years. But this happens in my marriage, and I think y'all might could use this. So my wonderful marriage, my wife is a dental hygienist. And I don't pretend to know anything about the science of dentistry. So I don't give her any input regarding this subject. And so when she tries to do this to me, we'll just say I'm talking about, okay, I'm an agronomist. I went to school. I have a turf grass degree. I start talking about our watering our lawn or fertilizing, nutrition, and she'll have some idea or try to input. I'm just like, it's a total jerk move, but I just say dental hygiene. And then the conversation stops. She flips me off, rolls her eyes because she knows I'm suggesting that she knows nothing about this subject. Why are you bringing it up? Because I know she can have nothing to offer. Like I said, that's a total jerk move, but it works for us. So I think you guys could start this. So especially since Dr. Mike, since he was a dentist, maybe you say cavity, Mark, or bicuspid, something. Just some trigger word that just suggests that, Dr. Mike, I know you're talking out of your ass, or butt, sorry, I don't know if we can say that, and that this conversation just needs to end because there's really nothing you can add to this. So anyway, now it shows what good friends you are. I've been married for almost 20 years, so this doesn't faze us. And the fact that you can be as dismissive as you are, Mark, which is funny, and it's not, I know you don't mean any offense by it, but it shows what good friends you are and how well y'all can get along. But anyway, love the show. Just wanted to share that because you guys crack me up. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, William. That's a big part of the show is me just blowing Dr. Mike off.
Well, the thing William has to understand is that no matter how dismissive you are of me and blow me off, I just keep talking. Right? It doesn't stop me at all. No. So you would say, cavity or something, I just continue on. Right?
Yeah, that's why it's great that I have editing power on the show. There's a lot of stuff you folks don't hear.
And the funny part is it's been like that even before we had a podcast.
Oh, yeah. This predates the podcast by decades.
You should have been with us, William, on some of our drives when we were in our 20s from San Diego to Vegas.
Oh, especially when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't want to fall asleep himself, so he just keeps talking to me. Let me ask you this, Mark.
Let me ask you this. I probably said, let me ask you this about, 10,000 times in a 4-hour trip.
Shut up. All right. Thanks for that call, William. We'll see if we can implement some of that on the show. All right. Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Nick calling with a trip report from the Seneca Allegheny Casino and Hotel in Salamanca, New York. I think that's how you say it. This is actually my second time there. My family and I, we found it actually last Christmas while driving from New England back to Ohio, and my kids love the pool, hot tub, arcade, and the rooms are actually pretty nice too. That first trip last Christmas, I snuck down the casino around 10 o'clock after getting the kids all settled in before bed, and the craps table was absolutely full, so threw in $20 in a random slot next to the craps table, hit the bonus, won $800 in like 10 minutes. Went back up to the room, and my wife kind of gave me that look. How did you lose $200 in 5 minutes? Well, showed my kids, the stack of cash, and now my kids think every time I go to the casino, I win, which, could not be farther from the truth. Fast forward to last week, made the road trip back to Ohio. This time it was just me and the boys. My wife, she had to work, so she couldn't make it, unfortunately. So, we had a good time at Salamanca again, hanging out at the pool and the arcade. And once I got the kids ready for bed, they're old enough now to hang out in the room. So went down to the casino, and this time there was only 3 people at the craps table, and it was a $5 minimum. Perfect for my level of craps play. I'm still learning, so I usually stick with the pass line, 3 times odds. You can actually play 5 times odds at Seneca Allegheny. I also like placing the 4 and 6 and also toss out a 2-way hard 6 to keep the dealers involved too. After about an hour, I was up $150 and those 2 or 3 other people at the table left. So it was just me and the dealers for the next hour. They were awesome, taking time to teach me some of the other bets and payouts. Really helped me understand the game a lot better. Told my boys I'd be back to their room by 11, so wrapped up after doubling up my buy-in. My kids were still awake. Told them I broke even so they don't think every time I go to the casino, it's like getting money out of the ATM. So it was a really great trip. Big thanks to the dealers at Seneca for making it a great night. And we will definitely be back this winter when we go back for Christmas in Ohio. Thank you guys for your awesome show. Keep up the great work and looking forward to hearing a lot more from you.
All right. Thanks, Nick. That's probably a good plan, right? When your kid, hey, how'd it go at the casino? Oh, I lost so much money. That's probably good to tell your kids that.
Well, I got a couple things to say about Nick's phone call, Mark.
Okay.
First of all, how many times have you heard the words Seneca, Allegheny, and Salamanca? Salamanca, is that it?
I think so.
In the same sentence.
Well,
now,
I mean, that is where the casino is. So.
Yeah, prior to that, I had never heard of Allegheny and Salamanca. Salamanca?
Right.
I enjoyed that.
Uh-huh.
And I want to impart a little wisdom for Nick. See, when our good friend Paul and I used to watch Charger games when they were the San Diego Chargers, or Padre games, or even Clipper games when they were the San Diego Clippers,
Wow.
what we would always turn to each other and say is, I just feel bad for the children. The kids have to witness this kind of foreplay and the misery of it all. We just always would look at each other, and we knew all we had to do was say, "I just feel bad for the children," and we knew what we meant. And that's the way it is with gambling, you know. You don't want to tell them you're losing and stuff. That's bad for the children.
It's bad to tell them they're losing. No,
you want to build them up, Mark. Oh yeah, I always win, or at the worst is you break even, and then life will kick in when they're adults and they can handle it better.
I guess I don't know. It's almost like you're saying, I really encourage you to be a professional gambler when you grow up.
No, I think recreational's fine. There's no pressure on you children to be professionals, just recreational for sure.
Now, boys, I win pretty much every time, but keep in mind, I'm not a professional.
Yeah, right. Well, remember the guy we worked for at casino nights who would tell me he always won at blackjack?
Yep.
Never lost.
There's always
won at blackjack.
Yep.
He was just doing it for the kids.
Now I understand. He wasn't bragging. He was doing it for the kids.
He was doing it for the kids.
Yeah. All right. All right, let's hear from Anthony.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Anthony from Missouri. Just giving a little trip report here. Went to Vegas end of July. It was hot, not unbearably hot. We had a good time. We're out there for 4 nights. Stayed at Aria for 2 nights and Cosmo for 2. First time staying at both of those places. Actually think I preferred Aria over Cosmo, even though we did have a fountain view balcony room at the Cosmo. Table limits were interesting at both places. I did find a $15 craps table at the Aria on a Monday morning there, which was good. Cosmo had some $50 tables on a Monday afternoon, though, so not ideal for my bankroll. I did take a trip over to the Palms for some $5 craps. They did have a $5 table and a $10 table going, so that was nice. One thing I noticed is that on those $5 tables, it definitely is a little bit different for what the dealers are working with off strip compared to on the strip. Dice were pretty cold most of the time for me. Played some slots and it was pretty cold too. But overall, a good trip. Ate a lot of good food as well as we normally do. Hit up Resorts World on a Tuesday evening. It was pretty dead in there. The property is nice, but yeah, just no foot traffic over there. And then went to Fontainebleau. That was actually a little bit more busy than I expected for a Tuesday evening as well. Overall, good trip. Vegas does seem a little bit lighter at times, but I don't think it's dead like everyone is saying. We'll be back in October to see how things are going that way. Last thing here, too, I actually did play live poker for the first time and ended up dead even on the table after 3 hours on the table. So I'll call that a win. Did stack someone when they went all in. So wanted to give that report. Thanks for all y'all do, and looking forward to hearing more from y'all.
Yeah, Anthony, congratulations on the poker. That's a win because you're beating the rake.
Exactly. Mark, is this true? I mean, do you feel this way, or is it just me, that we get a lot of mixed reviews on Cosmo?
On Cosmo?
On the Cosmopolitan. Okay. More than other casinos.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, some casinos, like a lot of people don't like. Some people like certain casinos a lot. But Cosmopolitan seems a little more like, it was okay. I hate it. It was great. You know, I mean, it's just a mixed bag with that casino.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think the reviews are almost all positive. The criticisms are the high limits, like Anthony was talking about, right? $50 craps tables, things like that. But no, overall, you know, it's a nice property. It's got kind of a small footprint. The bars are really nice. The wraparound balcony rooms, although I haven't stayed in one, are very nice. No, because I thought you were going to say Resorts World or Fontainebleau because we do
those two we do get a lot of.
Yeah, love it or hate it.
Well,
kind
actually,
of thing, so.
on this list here, Aria, Cosmopolitan, Resorts World, and Fontainebleau are all, to me, seem to get a lot of different kinds of reviews. Either, oh, it's great, or, oh, I hate it, that kind of thing. Palms, I don't hear too much about Palms.
Yeah, it's still, it's off strip. It's kind of a locals property.
Right.
The positives there, low limits, 3-2 blackjack. Right. They're tied to Yamava here in California, so Southern Californians
right. And if you're local, they have a lot of giveaways and stuff.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Palms, I wonder how they're doing.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I really haven't heard anything. My brother, I asked him, he didn't really know either, but anyway, I just bring that up because seems like Cosmopolitan. I guess you're right. The big gripe is the high limits.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the lack of gaming space.
Right. A small footprint. Some people complain that maybe since MGM took it over, it's not as good. Remember, we had a call not too long ago talking about how their March Madness party just went down the toilet. So, yeah.
Isn't that one craps table there too, kind of like in a long, narrow passageway or something?
Like I said, the whole casino is kind of narrow. So
yeah, I just felt like I was playing craps in the hallway.
Well, and Anthony also mentions what you've probably heard on the news is that Las Vegas attendance is down a little bit. Let's talk about that towards the end of the show because we have a couple more calls dealing with that.
Okay.
Next call.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Liam from Idaho. Been listening for a couple of years, but it's my first time calling in. Wanted to tell you guys about a recent experience I had. You guys say somewhat often on the show, the worst thing that can happen to you your first time at a casino is to win big. And I certainly haven't had that, 4 or 5 years gambling now, never had really a huge win. But where that has gotten me is in poker. A couple months ago, I was on a road trip. Gambling isn't legal here in Idaho, but I was on a road trip to Montana. And I found myself with a free afternoon. None of the casinos near me had any table games. I'm more of a table game, not a big slot guy. But there were some live poker rooms here, so I thought I would give it a try. I'd never played live poker before other than small $5 home games with my friends. So I go to the poker room and I buy in for $200. And man, it's like I could not lose. I was there for maybe 3 hours and I got pocket aces 3 or 4 times. I was winning hands by hitting the flush on the river. I was just killing it out there. And look, I think I was playing decently well for someone who has not played a whole lot. But anyways, at the end of all that, cashed out for $800. I quadrupled my money. And since then, I am hooked. Since I've been home, I've been, fighting off the delusions of heading to Vegas and playing poker for a week. Been playing free money games on my phone. Even got my friends to agree to a couple $20 buy-in poker nights. And I've been having a blast. I'm keeping, reality in check, but I am fully sold on poker after my one live poker experience. Definitely going to try and hit a poker room next time I'm traveling out of state because it was a fantastic time. I am sold. Anyways, thanks for doing the show. It's always a great listen, and I'm looking forward to more episodes. Bye.
All right. Glad you're keeping reality in check because poker will humble you. There's no other gambling that hurts as much as poker when you make the perfect decision. You make all the right moves and you still lose because that can happen a lot and it can wear on you. So just be prepared for that because if it hasn't happened yet, it will.
Right. Poker will humble you because it's just like a life. Things are going good, and then all of a sudden, it's like, all right, start over.
Start over. Yeah. All right. Let's hear from our buddy, Robin Aubin.
Well, hi, guys. This is Robin from Connecticut. I just wanted to call in and share a few things with you. I just got back from a trip to Bermuda, NCL cruise. One interesting thing that I like to share is that it seems there's a contract with NCL and Bermuda, and maybe other cruise lines as well, that the casino can stay open at night when they're in port, which is kind of cool because, when you're in port, many times you're not able to gamble at all. So I played almost every single day, broke even, and I couldn't believe it. That's really cool. And the final thing is, Anytime Gambling we've decided to end the website after 13 years. I would like to thank you guys and anybody else who had been following us. We've had a great time covering New England casinos and recreational gambling. And I really have to thank the two of you because you've been very supportive. And right now, I guess I'm just an OG gambler, I guess. It's been great, and thank you very much for the support over the years, and have a great time at Blackhawk. I wish I could be there with you. See you later.
All right. Thanks, Robin. Well,
thanks, Robin.
Congratulations on 13 years of the website. Yeah, Robin poured a lot of heart and soul into that site.
Well, and it's kind of neat because it was like a niche, New England gambling, right? Just that area. So if you lived in New England, man, that was the place to go.
Yeah. And thanks for supporting our show.
Yes. And I believe, well, I'm sure Robin gave us a shirt with Anytime Gambling on it.
Yes, he did.
A T-shirt, yeah. So now that, Mark, is a collector's item.
Yes. I can see it right in my closet here.
And fortunately, I never throw any shirts away. I've got them all from when I was from 10 on, maybe.
Yeah, so good. So back when you were a large?
No, back when I think they go back to when I was a medium.
Wow.
They get pushed down. The 4Xs end up towards the front. Well, now that it's a collector's item, Robin, if you don't mind, I'm going to put it. I have a little area in the house where I put all my collectible things that I had. I think I'm going to put that shirt up on the wall.
All right. Yeah, I don't think Robin will mind. I'm not sure why you're asking him. No, Mike, I think that's inappropriate. If you could just keep it on the regular rack.
I just want it there so when after I die and they do some documentary on my life, they, if it's on the wall, it's okay with Robin.
All right.
Not breaking any, copyright.
Thanks for telling me that. I'll talk to the documentarian. Oh, yeah. Remember Dr. Mike said he was going to do that. All right. Let's hear from William again.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is William from Fort Worth with my baby mama / wife, Jennifer. And we just left the Golden Gate. We're in Vegas, and they have 0 craps tables now. They went from 2 to 1, I don't know, a year or so ago, and now they have 0. And the bartenders told us that they are about to do away with, in the next 2 weeks? Is that what they said?
All tables.
All tables are gone. They're very sad. They realize it's going to kill the place. They're going to do electronic gaming, not stadium gaming, just electronic games. I guess they're doing away with dancers, dealers, everything. So Golden Gate, very, very sad because we've all played craps there and Crap Vegas. The first time I ever tried their 270 across, and which I call the bankroll crusher, got killed. But anyway, just reporting, it's over. Golden Gate, done, out.
All right, so boots on the ground confirmation of what we said last week, that all the table games are gone from Golden Gate. Yeah, it is sad.
You realize how quiet it'll be in there?
Well, I don't know about that because they're replacing them with electronic versions of the games. So
it'll be electronic noise, though.
That's true. Not as many people whooping it up.
It'll just be electronic noise.
Well,
I wonder what they're going to play for the music instead of the fast-paced happy music.
I'm sure the music will still be the same.
Oh, you think?
I thought yeah.
They won't go to like elevator music?
I won't swear, but I think they're going to keep the music the same.
Okay, well, when anyone goes in there, we want to report on that.
On the music, all right.
On the music, yeah.
Thank you, listeners. We actually have a follow-up call from Don about Golden Gate.
Hi, guys. This is Don in the Milwaukee area, first-time caller. I love you guys' show. I just wanted to briefly talk about the closing of table games in Vegas that you guys talked about, Golden Gate, in your last episode. Last week, the VP of Operations of Circa, his name was Mike something, had an interview with a local radio station here. And it was mostly to promote Circa's upcoming football contest. But he did talk a little bit about table games closing. And he said staffing issues are certainly part of it, but he mentioned a law that went into effect last year in Nevada that said that all employees had to make at least minimum wage, and that tipped employees could no longer make less than minimum wage. And he said the increased labor costs are certainly a factor. You have 3 dealers in craps, actually 4, because one's always on break, and a boxman and a floor person and a pit boss and people calling sick, and it adds up versus a machine. And he thinks that it's just going to keep going that way, the trend that it's not obviously an issue in blackjack and other games. And he mentioned Roll to Win, which only has one dealer. But I think it's up to us craps players to just try to keep it going, get the younger people involved, teach them, encourage them, have them play with you. I got my son involved. He's 30 now, but he's been playing since he's been legal. So hopefully it's not going to die out completely. I know my local casino in the Milwaukee area, they had a hard time staffing, and they went from 6 tables down to 2, which kind of stinks. So let's do what we can, guys. Let's keep craps going. The trend is not in our favor, but I'm going to play to the last day that I'm alive. So thanks again, guys. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Don, for that information.
I've heard that about them saying that having to pay everyone minimum wage. Most states, that's the law, has been the law for a long time. Like in California, if you're a waitress or a waiter, you got paid minimum wage and got tips.
Yeah.
And those places all are able to do it. So, and I certainly have no expertise on this. So feel free, William, and you, Mark, to just blow me off. Yeah. But it would seem to me that's just an excuse. And basically the real reason is, hey, we make a lot more money on the machines without having any payroll.
Well, I mean, I don't know that those two things contradict each other. The machines make more money, and we don't want to pay the...
I agree with you. They don't contradict each other. But saying that it's because we have to pay them minimum wage, I think it's just that they save a ton of money by having no employees, whether they're paid minimum wage or more or whatever, because they don't have to pay health insurance. They don't have to pay workman's comp. I mean, there's a million things go into a business that they don't have to do now because the machine just sits there. So
it is the trend. I don't think table games will go away completely in every casino, but that is the trend.
Think about it. If you can have a virtual machine that plays craps, roulette, blackjack, eventually, why would you have table games? Other than it's more fun and socially,
well, that's
better.
That's a huge part of it, and I think that's why they will stick around, because there are plenty of people who do like the social aspect of the table games. Yes, there are people who don't like that and want to just be at their own terminal, but there are enough of us, I think, that still enjoy that part of the casino.
Well, of course, there's plenty of us who enjoy that part, but will the casino see it that way?
Yeah.
Or will they see it as, well, if we all have virtual blackjack, sure, they won't have as much fun, but they love playing blackjack. They're gamblers. They'll be here either way.
Yeah. The market will figure it out whether we like it or not.
Right, but their job as a casino, I think, is to force the market in a direction that favors them. And maybe, like Don said, maybe our job is to force the market in a direction that favors us.
Yeah. We're a small army, though, I would say.
Yeah, we're a small army. I think the actual number of people who go to Vegas who are there to gamble only is very, very small.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, like I said, towards the end of the show. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, how you doing? Just wanted to give a quick trip report to my last trip to Harrah's in Murphy, North Carolina. Saw that I had about $110 in free play, so I went up. My plan was to turn the free play into as much money as I could. So I went over to the Baccarat table, put it on Banker, and it won. So then I headed over to the craps table they had going. There was maybe 2 people at it. The game was a $15 game. I said, all right, let's just start buying some numbers, or placing the 6 and 8, really. And me and the 2 other people just went on some pretty good rolls. Ended up turning that $110 in free play into about $650, $675-ish on the craps table. So that was a win. Was super happy about that. Then the highlight of the trip was the next morning I woke up. Craps table didn't open until about 10 a.m., but Ultimate Texas Hold'em table opened at 9. And I sat down, played some Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and it wasn't going too well for the majority of the session until right around my second to last hand that I would have had with the chips that I had. I hit a royal flush in Ultimate Texas Hold'em. With $20 on the blind, it paid $10,000.
Oh, nice.
I couldn't believe it because 2 weeks before that, I had hit a straight flush on Ultimate Texas Hold'em. So I was just in complete shock. But thanks, guys, for the podcast. I love it. It gets me through my morning drives on the way to work. So keep doing your thing. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Oh, congratulations.
Wow. That's a trip, right?
Yeah.
Turn your free play, you do really well in that, and then you hit a $10,000 payout.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, Mike, we joke about how neither one of us has hit a royal flush on video poker, but I was thinking about it. I don't think I've ever hit a royal flush in live poker. For all those years of our home game and everything, I've never had a royal flush. Now, we've had royal flushes in the game, some other players, but I've never hit one. Have you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Pai Gow, when we used to go out for Pai Gow and anything like that.
No. Yeah. No, I would have definitely remembered that. I don't think. I mean, the only time is playing poker with wild cards or something.
Oh, well, of course. That happens all the time. Wild cards or like if I'm playing on my phone, video poker, stuff like that or whatever. But
no, but in just regular cards, I can't remember ever hitting one.
We're the worst.
Yep.
All right, next call.
Hey, guys, this is Josh from Austin. There's a couple things I wanted to throw out there just for some of the listeners. I know that there's been a lot of talk about the drop in visits and tourists and stuff in Vegas. I didn't see that last weekend when we were there. There were a lot of lines for everything. The casino in the Aria was absolutely packed. I just didn't see that drop in the tourists. The second thing is we went to Resorts World, and that place was kind of bare. It was Friday afternoon. There weren't a lot of people in the casino. We sat down at the poker bar, and I put $100 in max bet or whatever, ordered a drink, a Jack and Coke, and it was $17.50 for that drink. Despite the fact that I was playing max bet, I didn't question them. I paid it, but I don't know if that's part of it. I'd only been in Resorts World once, and it doesn't seem very busy at all. So those were my take on as far as the visiting people are concerned. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I didn't notice a drop on the strip. It was packed on the Friday night when we went out to go see the fountains. It was absolutely packed on the strip. So take that for what it's worth. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everything you do for the show. Been listening since the bathroom days when you guys were recording, and just keeps getting better. Keep it up. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Before we discuss this, let's hear from our good friend Kevin, because he has some thoughts on the topic as well.
Okay.
Hi, gang. It's Kevin from Madison. I just want to let you know I threw you a couple shekels for a karma donation for a trip I'll be taking to Vegas here in the next couple days. I'll give you a trip report when I get back. I would be interested in getting your thoughts about the alleged decline in tourism that's occurring in Vegas right now. I just read the other day that in the month of June alone, tourism year over year is down 11%. Well, if there are 42 million people that go to Vegas every year and 1 month is down 11%, that's almost 400,000 tourists that are not going to Vegas. I'm not sure if it's resort fees or expensive drinks and other amenities. Maybe it's a strength in the dollar that's causing some issues. But anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts, and maybe a couple of your listeners will weigh in on this too. But nonetheless, I'll give you a trip report when I get back. Good luck to you guys, and thanks for all the great content. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. There definitely is a decline in visitorship in Las Vegas. You can look at the figures, 10%, 11%. You probably won't see that necessarily because 10% is not really that much. It probably won't hurt most properties, but some maybe like Resorts World or Fontainebleau where there's not a lot of foot traffic. Maybe they're feeling this more than the other places.
It's more visible in a bigger place too.
It could be, right?
A big casino like Resorts World, you go to Harrah's, and it looks packed, but it's such a small place. Yeah. There's maybe not as many people in there. It just looks busier. Yeah.
So there may still be lines for things that you may not notice. Will Vegas react? Well, we'll see. We'll probably have to wait a little while to see if things change. If you're not having to pay $17.50 for a Jack and Coke when you're playing video poker. Yeah, that is a little outrageous.
Yeah.
What are the reasons? There can be many reasons. There's the talk about how Vegas is no longer budget friendly, like in the old days. Everything needs to make a profit now. There are no more loss leaders. Visitorship from other countries is down, not just Vegas, but in America overall, right? So that's going to affect it. There could be a lot of factors.
Well, that's what I think, Mark. I think it's a combination of many, many factors.
It very well could be.
The amount of casinos in the country now,
right?
More and more. And a lot of these local casinos have so many giveaways. So I think it's all those things combined. And the economy, it goes in cycles, right? The economy's up, it's down. People's attitudes, too.
Sure.
There's a lot of, I would call it upheaval in the world, which makes people a little more likely to stick closer to home, not get out and do things as much. We had a caller from Milwaukee, and, Milwaukee just had terrible flooding. And, so if you're living there, it's like, if house just got flooded, you're probably not going to Vegas. It's just stuff like that.
We in the gambling in Vegas community don't need to be concerned about this, really, because if Las Vegas does react in some way, it will probably help us. Right. Costs will go down, or they'll offer more incentives to come to the city. So we really don't need to wring our hands over this. It might be a good thing.
Right. In the long run, things usually turn out that way, right?
Yeah. All right. Our next episode, I'm going to be in Black Hawk. That's when we normally would record and the episode would drop. So our next episode will actually be in 3 weeks on September the 22nd. And then we'll follow it up with another episode 1 week later on September 29th. That's the plan. I don't plan on getting sick when I return from my trip. We have no plans that will prevent us from doing an episode in 3 weeks and then another one a week after that. So that's the plan. And on that next episode, we'll talk about our poker tournament. We are recording before the tournament, so we don't know the results, even though this episode will drop after the tournament. So, 3 weeks after the fact, I better take notes during the tournament so that I remember what happened.
So, in other words, you'll do what you normally do.
Yeah, exactly. I think such and such took me out. And I don't know, did I have like King Jack? I don't remember.
Well, as long as it's you and not me taking notes, can you imagine if I was doing the note taking?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I can't read the handwriting. What's this abbreviation for?
Kids at school, I abbreviate everything. What's this? And I'm like, what? You don't know what blah, blah, blah means?
Like yesterday, you sent me your NCAA football picks, and you abbreviated Stephen F. Austin as SFA. And I was,
that's what it
should be. That's what it should have been. If I was in a hurry and I saw South Florida listed, that's what he must have meant, South Florida.
Yeah,
so I ended up betting both sides of that game, South Florida and Boise State. So we lost the VIG. Although my mistake actually was the way the game went. So
right. Right. And Stephen F. Austin didn't cover, so we would have lost that anyway.
Oh, see, that I didn't know. Oh, good.
And we would have lost mine the original way, so you actually saved us money.
Good. All right. So me not being able to understand what you wrote, and SFA, that's Stephen F. Austin. It can't be anything else if you're following college football. But all right.
Yeah, I think from now on, anyone like that, I will spell the whole name out. Okay. I mean, if it's USC, I assume you're going to get that, or UCLA or something. But yeah, if it's anything odd.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations. From Brian and Sarah, from Josh, from the boys over at Crap Vegas, and from Brian Dancer. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a nice donation from Robin Aubin, whom we heard from earlier, and from Kevin that we heard from just at the end. Thank you very much. We also got a donation from listener Richard. A small donation to you for the great entertainment you give me every week. Thank you very much, Richard. And Richard, as most listeners remember, is the one who donates $100 to the charity of our poker tournament winner's choice. So we will let you know on the next episode where that $100 went. And thank you again so much, Richard.
Yeah, he is overly gracious.
Yeah, it's very nice. All right, we have shut down our You Can Bet on That store because we are in negotiations with Tim Lawson to combine our merchandise store for both of our shows. So that is in progress. Stay tuned. In the meantime, you can find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television at youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings. And we've got a list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonThat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbettonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Take it away, Dr. Mike.
Mark, I can't tell you how excited I am for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Poker tournament.
Yep.
Tons of NCAA football games.
Yep.
Padres games, and I am actually going tomorrow with our good friend Todd Goddess to the Padre Minnesota Twins.
Oh, yeah,
game.
they're playing each other. Yeah, okay, good.
Yep,
Enjoy that. Who are you going to root for?
I'm going to root for the Padres.
Okay.
Although, I do watch a lot of Twins games, but, they're not doing so well this year. Yeah. They've kind of given up on the season.
It was a disappointing season for the Twins.
They had high hopes, and they started off poorly.
Yeah.
And then they kind of hit a stride, and they were doing okay. And I thought, oh, okay, well, they're still going to have a good year. And then, boom, in the dumps. And now they've given up. They've traded a ton of people, and it's back to that old rebuilding thing. Yeah. So I doubt if there's going to be a lot of people there, but it still sounds like a good time. And I want to read you real quickly what Todd wrote me. He said that there's a Joe Mauer statue giveaway to the first 10,000 fans, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's the Twins. There may only be 10,000.
So a statue like the size of a bobblehead kind of a statue?
Probably something like that, right? And then there is a Grand Casino spin the wheel and get a prize thing. Todd says he usually does it. Sometimes you can get $25 or $50 in free play. And $100 is usually the top reward.
Oh, okay. And anybody can spin this wheel? Well,
yeah,
21 and over?
21 and over, get the thing.
Okay.
Then he goes on to tell me we're going in at gate 34 where we're meeting. And gate 34 also has food and drink specials on Saturdays. So you can get a $6 drink and $2 for food and $1 for snacks.
Oh, all right.
So what a weekend I'm having.
Wow, that's going to be so nice. And then Monday is your last day. I mean, I was going to say it's a holiday, but of course you're not starting school until Tuesday, but you got that day off. All right.
Yeah, got Monday off, and I actually have visitors. My mom and sister and brother-in-law are going to be here coming in today, and they're going to leave next Thursday. So we have visitors, and we have Padres, and we have NFL football. There won't be time to sleep.
Yeah.
There just will not be time to sleep.
We'll have fun. All right. I am looking forward to seeing all of you who are going to Black Hawk. Oh my gosh, it's almost here. So I will report on that trip too, obviously, and on our next episode. Anything else, Dr. Mike?
Well, you could FaceTime me while you're there if the casino would let you and just hold the phone up so I can see
I'll check with him. I'll see. You all know Dr. Mike, right? He wants to see this. I'm sure that'll open some doors for me.
I'll just step back from the table. Okay, we'll talk to you guys in 3 weeks.
Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Oh, Adam, the installation guys called. They can meet you at 9 tomorrow.
Okay, great. Oh, no. That's not going to work. We need to buy my lottery tickets at 9. That's my lucky time.
How is it lucky if you've never won?
Every time I don't win, I'm building up my luck. That's how it works.